Well, it was on November 8th, 2013. We were playing McDory in the first round of the playoffs, and their running back ran around the edge, and I went to go tackle him, and when I did, the doctors would say it was equivalent to the force of a head-on collision on the interstate.
With the injury, he also had damage to the posterior vertebral artery, which is one of the arteries that supplies the brain. And so there was a clot in that artery. Sometime the surgery was successful, and sometime after the surgery, probably the clots let loose when the blood got flowing again, and he suffered several different areas of strokes.
One of the first things I remember after waking up in the hospital is not being able to talk as well or move my arms as well. I thought it was a bad nightmare or something.
Well, he was at UAB for 10 days, and then they transferred him to Children's because he was 17 at the time. And he did inpatient rehab for approximately 4 weeks, and then we did a week of intensive outpatient rehab. Once we got home, he had to do speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy. He did those about 3 days a week.
I easily could have not tried as hard or given up, and you probably couldn't understand what I had to say, or I could barely scratch my head.
I went to the hospital I don't know how many times over the course of that, and it was wishful thinking, but I could see him getting better every time I talked to him.
I'm a strong believer in everything happens for a reason, and now I think the reason is more so people can hear my story and maybe be inspired by it.
This day and age, it's very easy to feel sorry for yourself. People fall into that pretty easy. I promise you, I've never seen that kid one time feel sorry for himself.
Every morning you have to wake up with a certain mentality that you're gonna get better today, and you can't do anything that's gonna slow you down.
He was always a very quiet kid. He had never gotten up in front of our football team and never said a word. But he did after the accident. He stood up last year and spoke to our team for a long period of time.
I think his biggest takeaway is he said he's determined. He's determined to not let this affect what he wants to do. He's determined to give his best and to make the most of what he's been given.
You can't take anything for granted, and you've got to, appreciate the quality moments and hope you're strong enough and tough enough to handle those down times like Easton.
No matter what happens to you, whether you get an injury like mine or you just have a minor setback, you should never give up on what you want to do with life.